And I'm back. So I think everything's running. I think everything's good. Hopefully. Yes, everything's green. Cool. So, newest episode of WandaVision came out. Halloween special. Episode 6. It's getting good. Let's break it down. Welcome to the newest episode of SDW.
Super Dario World!
Alright, and we're back. So, I really love this episode. I want to say it was my favorite episode. I'm not sure. I might be going way too over my head. I might be just too hopped up on everything. But it's one of those things that I keep getting happier and happier and happier that the way I decided to break this particular show down and not getting into spoilers and avoiding all the certain types of speculation that giving the fun facts of the Marvel world. So, and I don't know. I'll just say I'm loving the show. I'm having a good time. Also, Minnesota760, hello. Thank you for joining me. Hola. ¿Cómo estás? She said it in Spanish. Or he. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Anyway, before we get into it, let me just give you a quick reminder that any comments, questions, or suggestions, you can find me at Dario the Show on Instagram and at Super Dario World, streaming on YouTube and on Twitch at Super Dario World. Right now, I got people in the chat here if you want to join me. Danny, what's up? Glad you liked the episode as well. Thanks for joining me. And yeah, that's the beauty of live streaming. I usually aim Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays. I want to do live streams. I'm usually aiming for 8 p.m. Today, I was not successful. Turns out that I had a lot to do. Actually, I had a phone call with somebody who was asking me for advice about stuff. So, it took longer than I expected. So, there you go. In case you cared. Yeah, so like I said, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, live streaming. Tomorrow, I'm not sure what I'm going to do because I have kind of plans. But, oh, and Minnesota, you were asking about Eric. Eric was supposed to be helping me out with something. We're planning on doing something on Tuesdays, but then we realized, like, hey, I'm supposed to be doing the WandaVision breakdown on Tuesdays. So now, what are we supposed to do? What can we do? Honestly, I think we're probably just going to pre-record stuff and then just load it and we'll pick a random day. But I don't know. Point is, he was like, I got to go get money. I got to go work. And so that's why he's not here, in case you're wondering. Luis, thank you for joining me. What's up? How's it going? Let's break it down. Let's get into this. I think I'm already distracted enough. But let's get into this. I'll check out the chat a little bit later and I'll go into his questions. What's up, Toro Rosso? Thanks for joining me. And yeah, because otherwise I'm just gonna be all over the place and I got a lot to say. So let's begin. Episode 6, WandaVision. This was a Halloween episode, and let's get to it. So the episode had a let me just switch that out. Okay, this one I loved the theme. This one was Malcolm in the Middle theme from beginning to end, and it even had the twins breaking the fourth wall, and that means that they were talking directly to the audience, which is great. I honestly, I'm shocked. Out of all the comedies of the 90s, I did not expect Malcolm in the Middle. I did not see this one coming, and I loved it. Malcolm in the Middle, underappreciated show. I loved it. It was very smart. It was wild. The cast of characters was great, was kooky. And so the fact that they did an homage to them, I really enjoyed it. I'm not a big fan of the twins, but they were in it enough that they were not the center of it, and so it didn't affect me that much. Also, could it be a hint of the powers of one of them? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe not. We'll see. Anyway, the point is, I like the theme. It was fun. So then we discovered that Pietro, but as you guys remember, Pietro showed up at the end of the last episode. Pietro is Wanda's twin brother, who doesn't look like Pietro from the MCU, but looks like Peter, who is Quicksilver from the X-Men movies. I know. It is a headache, but all right, let's try to keep going. And the important thing here, and this is the thing I wanted to show, but because you can't see him, you can just see kind of like a blur. Peter has his powers, so that's a very important thing. Peter still has powers. Let's continue. Wanda, the costumes here in this episode. I'm not gonna go too much into it, but we get to see Wanda wearing the traditional, the classic comic book Scarlet Witch look, and something interesting happens in interaction between her and Pietro, and we learn that. Well, by the way, the costumes here for the throwback are also great. Like, I'm not getting into it. I'm not getting into what they're referencing here or what I think they're referencing, but I'm not getting into it. The point is, I enjoyed them. Anyway, we learned something very interesting from this particular flashback, and that's that Wanda and Pietro have different memories, or they don't remember things the same, which is, I think, kind of a big deal. I don't know. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I think it's kind of a big deal. So it's we'll just have to wait and see what they do with it. The beauty of this show is that it's a sitcom mystery. It's a sitcom fantasy mystery, maybe, but the mystery's pretty good. I'm enjoying the mystery. I have so many questions. Every single episode, I have more and more questions. And we will go through them as we go through this episode. Anyway, let's continue. So we see Vision in his classic Vision look, which is super lame. But I appreciated the fact that he said that his costume was luchador. That tickled me. Next, we see Pietro in his classic Quicksilver look. And, I guess the twin really doesn't matter here. So, the show starts jumping between the sitcom land and the real world, I guess, which is, like I said, I think how the show should have been from the beginning, or at least from episode 3 or 2, but whatever. And we get to see that the drone that was sent to kill her still has a little bit of, let's call it, magical radiation. And the three amigos here get in trouble with the big boss because they're basically saying, "Dude, are you a fucking idiot? You tried to kill an omega level mutant. I mean, he doesn't know that's an omega level mutant, but you tried. That's stupid. She's gonna kill us. You're outgunned here." And they bring up an interesting topic here. Why the fuck is S.W.O.R.D. dealing with the Scarlet Witch? Why is S.W.O.R.D. the one that's tasked with bringing down an Avenger? You'd think that their first phone call would be, I don't know, to S.H.I.E.L.D. or, I don't know, to the Avengers, and be like, "Hey, come pick up, your girl's gone crazy, and this is way, way, way out of our pay grade." But no, why is S.W.O.R.D. in charge here? And I have a theory. My theory is, they had the body of the Vision, right? We learned that, I believe it was the episode before. We learned that they had custody of the body of Vision, and they were probably experimenting on it, and they were not supposed to because we learned about the Sokovia treatings or whatever, and the Sokovia protocols? Treatings? I don't know, whatever, doesn't matter. So they're probably they're in violation of that, and so they can't call on mommy and daddy for help because they'd get in trouble because they were doing something they weren't supposed to do. So they're trying to keep it in house. That's my theory. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, if I have to take a guess, if I have to make a bet, that's where I'd put my money. Anyway, the three amigos here get in trouble and they get canned because I mean, it gets pretty personal. the director here gets pretty personal, basically saying it's a good thing you weren't here when your mom died of cancer because you're a loser. I'm paraphrasing. That's pretty much what he said. It got way too unnecessarily personal. But I mean, he nearly got shot to death, and everybody's tensions were high. But still, dick move, bro. Anyway, moving on. And as they're trying to, as they're being escorted out, Jimmy Woo and Rambo did the reasonable thing, and that's they attacked the other the S.W.O.R.D. agents, overpowered them, knocked them out, and basically took their their raincoats. Anyway, I have a particular pet peeve when supposedly, elite soldiers or elite agents get taken down that easily. But yeah, you know what? Jimmy Woo is in the FBI. Rambo is a captain of an airplane, so they could totally have done it. Anyway, let's move on. Then we have a very interesting conversation between Pietro and Wanda. Pietro is aware that something's happening, which I'll get into Pietro a little bit later, a little bit more. I have my theory on what the hell's going on with him. But the conversation that they have there hints that Pietro is way more aware than anybody else. And I mean anybody else in there. They try to explain it, but I'll get into that in a minute. But the big thing here is Wanda is not sure why Pietro doesn't look like Pietro. Why he looks like Peter. Like in that conversation is actually pretty interesting where Wanda's like, "Hey, why don't you look the way I remember you?" And Pietro's like, "I don't know. This is your world. You probably don't want a reminder of me." Now, this could just be, writers being like, "Okay, this is a good enough excuse. Let's move on." Or I have theories about Pietro, but I'll save them for when the bigger stuff happens. Let's just say the excuse, not good enough. Not flying for me. Anyway, let's move on. I just kept that picture in because this is becoming a meme and I love it. Dude, Elizabeth Olsen is so good. She's so good. Everybody, like Pietro's performance was great. The kids were all right. Vision's amazing as well. But Elizabeth Olsen is a star, man. She's a star. I cannot believe that she's not in more stuff. She should be doing a lot of comedy after this because she is hysterical. Her expressions. She's such a great actress. I loved her. Like, she's been the best part of the show, and so far, I'm loving the show. So there you go. Moving on. I just left that there for fun. Anyway, moving on. Then Wanda. I was gonna say Elizabeth, but Wanda speaking with the neighbors, and the neighbors is like, "Hey, do you want me to change anything for you?" Which is weird because Wanda's the one supposed to be in control. And here's where she finds out that Vision lied to her. So Vision said that he was going to go out and help the neighborhood watch. So she is talking with somebody with the neighborhood watch. And the neighborhood watch dude says, "Yeah, Vision's not on today, so I don't know what you're talking about." Anyway, point is, Vision lied. He's a lying liar. Moving on. As we find out that Vision is a lying liar, we see that he's just walking down a random street. And he starts looking at people, and people are walking funny. And by walking funny, I mean that they're barely moving. So she starts looking at neighbors, and they keep doing the same movement over and over again. And then she's like a tear starts falling out of her eye, and Vision's there like, "This is weird, right? This is weird, right?" Anyway, moving on, we get a commercial, and this commercial for like a yogurt thing is Yo Magic. Pretty sure this is self-explanatory, but it might be one of those things that it's so obvious that it's tricking me. I don't know. It looks too obvious. It might be tricking me. Why is it a shark? Why strawberry flavor? There's a lot of stuff in there. I don't know. Point is, that's the commercial, and I believe it's the first time that it's not a brand that's directly related to... Well, I mean, I guess Wanda has magic? Huh. Let's see. Sorry, because the last one was Lagos, and that's where Civil War happened. Then you had Hydra, and you also had Stark Industries. Stark Industries, well, it's because she's Avenger and stuff like that. Stark. And the last time that we saw her was in Stark's funeral, so that, okay, makes sense. Hydra, it's because she got her powers from Hydra experiments, so that makes sense. Lagos, again, that's where she may have started losing her mind, and everybody started losing the faith in her. And now Yo Magic, it could be because she needs a reminder. Okay, here he goes. Scarlet Witch's power, she's not... They're trying to say here that she's a psychic and she uses telekinesis. That's not her powers in the comic books. She's a wielder of chaos magic. She manipulates the loss of probabilities. So maybe this is a reminder of like, hey, you have magic. Use it. You're not a telepath. You are a witch. So maybe that's it. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe at the end it'll all make sense. Right now, again, I'm just speculating with the information that I've been given on this show and in the MCU. Let's move on. Next, this is where we have another very interesting conversation between Pietro and Wanda. And also, this is something that I also found very interesting. The movies in the movie theater here are The Incredibles and The Parent Trap. Now, first off, for those of you who don't know, those did not come out at the same time. I double-checked. The Parent Trap came out in 98, and The Incredibles came out in, I believe, 2004? Yeah, I think it's 2004. Anyway, so one is a movie about a family of superheroes. The other one is a movie about twins that are trying to bring their parents back together, which, by the way, I mean, because the parents get divorced and then they find out that you have a twin and stuff like that. So I guess the references are pretty clear here because you got a bunch of twins in this show and you got a superpowered family. So I'm guessing it's pretty obvious, but I don't know. I don't know. Like, this is the thing about mysteries. They make you doubt everything. So maybe, you know what? I'm overthinking it. Let's move on. I just thought it was interesting because they were never in theaters at the same time. Let's move on. Here we learned that one of the twins actually has powers, and his powers is super speed. Now, we don't know if his power is super speed or if his power is to copy somebody else's powers. So I just need to put that out there. I'm not sure, but right now it looks like he has super speed. Anyway, moving on. We get to see the three amigos breaking into and basically hacking the by the way, super easily. Like, what was Darcy? An astrophysicist? No. She was what was she? They say it in the first episode. No, it's not astrophysicist. That's something else. But she has something to do. I think she's some kind of physicist, right? Think. Theoretical physics? I don't know. But the point is, I never heard that she was any kind of engineer or any type of techie. But here we have her hacking a computer. Which, okay, super secret government agency, and she just hacks the computer. Whatever. It's one of those things that just like if they would have had Jimmy Woo doing it, it would have made a little bit more sense. If they would have had Rambo doing it, it would have made a little bit more sense because, like, hey, they kind of know the system, or it's in their background. Like, Jimmy Woo could actually have background in that because he's an FBI agent. An FBI agent have to be experts in a bunch of different stuff. But all right, fine. Darcy does it, and they hack the system, and they're trying to figure out what the hell is going on because clearly the director is doing shady stuff. Let's move on. Next, they figure out that he's been. Now here's where things get kooky. They've been tracking the vibranium signal that's being emitted by the Vision, and so Vision is made out of vibranium, which is a fictional metal that exists in the MCU or in the Marvel universe, and Vision's made out of it. And I guess they've been tracking its radiation, and via the radiation, they can kind of use that as a radar to see the people around him. That one was confusing for me, but I think that's what they were going to do. How they did this, I don't know. How does that work? I don't know. How did they get a reading from in there? I don't know. But I guess we accept it. And let's move on. Next, Vision decides, you know what, fuck walking. And for the first time, we get to see Vision in his actual Vision suit. Like, full-on transformed, I think. I don't recall seeing him transform before. And he starts floating around, and he notices a car that's parked. Then he goes to the parked car that's parked. And we see the neighbor there who's kind of who's stuck there and doesn't know where she's going. It's really weird. And so Vision uses his Vision power, which is apparently freeing minds or whatever now. Which I don't know why he can do it, but he can do it. And he frees her mind, and basically she lets him know, like, hey, you're dead. Am I dead? Because you're dead. Am I dead? Is this hell? Because you're dead. You're an Avenger, and you're dead. And Vision's like, what's an Avenger? Also, what? I'm dead? And so that's when Vision definitely decides, you know what? Fuck this. I am out of here. Vamonos. Adios. Fuck this town. I'm leaving. So, dude's not straight up not having a good time. Let's move on. Next, Darcy, when Rambo decides that she's going to go back into the Hex, the Hex Dome? Let's call it the Hex Dome. When she decides she's going to go back into the Hex Dome because she finds somebody who's going to infiltrate, who's going to get her in. By the way, all right, how she found somebody that's going to get her in, I don't know. Because last time we saw, Wanda made the barrier even stronger. So how is somebody who's not there going to get her in if the barrier is stronger? That doesn't, it doesn't matter. Point is, she got somebody to get her in. And so they're on their way there. And Darcy's like, no, bitch, stop. You can't go in there again. And the reason why she can't go in there again is, and she showed her all these images here. Apparently this is her DNA or her blood work. Apparently, because she went in and out of the dome twice, her cellular structure is changing. Like, her body's changing on a cellular structure. Now, if you guys know comic books or superhero stuff at all, you kind of know what this means moving down the line. and this is probably going to be one of the bigger things that happens in this show. But it could also be that they go the logical route and just give her cancer. Who knows? Anyway, the point is, Rambo's like, yeah, fuck it, I'm gonna go in anyway. Deuces. And so she leaves, and Darcy decides she's gonna stay behind because she wants to keep hacking stuff. Moving on, this is where we have the interesting conversation between Pietro and Wanda, and it's bizarre. It's bizarre because at times, like I said, Pietro knows way more than anybody else in this world. And the way he explains it is like, yeah, I'm your twin. I kind of know you. But it really bugs me because he the things that he knows, and then there's things that he doesn't know that should seem somewhat logical, and then it seems like he's trying to manipulate Wanda in a way. So my theory, in a way, is that Pietro was sent there by somebody else. Now, again, my premise here is that Wanda may have caused a lot of this stuff, but she's not the one 100% in control, because I don't understand why make a TV show. I don't understand it. I don't understand why she would send out a signal. I don't understand it. It really annoys me. It really annoys me that I can't figure out why the fuck would she create a TV show. Why send out the signal? It makes no sense. Anyway, unless subconsciously she's reaching out for help, but still doesn't make any sense. Anyway, so what Pietro asks her a bunch of stuff, and he's like, hey, and he's praising her. He wants to make sure she feels good about being there. It's really weird. And also at the same time, he wants to try to understand how she did it. Like, he asks her, like, how did you do it? And first off, he compliments her, like, by the way, in this episode, we actually have children walking around. Because, we hadn't seen the children so far in the series except the twins. Now we have children walking around, and he praises her for that. He's like, oh, yeah, you probably had them safe asleep in their beds, and then you bring them out for this special Halloween episode, and you give everybody better jobs, and everybody has a better haircut, and the couples are still together, blah, blah. So overall, ethically, it's not that bad. So he's giving her compliments, like, yeah, what you're doing is a good thing. Now, how'd you do it? And so to me, that's always been a manipulation tactic. Like, yeah, what you're doing is good. Feel good, feel good, feel good. Yeah. Now, how'd you do it? Just between you and me, how'd you do it? So that's why I'm thinking that Pietro is more than let's just say more than meets the eye. And Wanda starts basically going into how she's not exactly sure how she did it. She was just really lonely and went into a pit of despair. And that's when she looks at Pietro again, and Pietro's dead. So we get to see dead Pietro. Well, dead Peter? Pietro? Anyway, point is, I'm confused. Because I had just started formulating this theory of Pietro being somebody else, and all of a sudden, no. Or did she lose focus and now she's seeing him that way? Or did she actually start reaching some emotional part and she's seeing through whatever mirage is in? I don't know. I'm confused. Because she didn't bring Pietro there, okay? She didn't bring Pietro there, or at least she didn't do it consciously. It's possible that every single thing that has to do with Pietro is her subconscious. It's possible. But also, I don't believe it. But then again, she's crazy. Oh, God, I'm very confused. Honestly, I love it, but I'm very confused. Because I have all these theories, and I want to know. That's the beauty. That's the beauty of the show. I want to know more. I have questions that need answering. God damn it. Anyway, so following my logic here, Pietro, why would she should know where Pietro came from, right? She should know why Pietro looks that way because it's her. She's the one doing it. But then she's saying that I don't know how I did it. So it's possible that somebody took advantage of a particular moment and they're manipulating something. I don't know. You know what? I'm going to stop with speculating and I'll just see what happens. Because right now I'm very confused and it could really be anything and it annoys me. And so let's move on. Next. Darcy hacks finally what she wanted to hack. I believe she discovers something called Project Cataracts or something. And she decides to email this information to Agent Jimmy Woo, whose email she knows by memory, by the way. How does she know this? I don't know. But all right. Fair enough. I mean, it's okay. Sure, why not? Anyway, she emails super secret and super sensitive and classified information to Jimmy Woo. Let's continue. So Vision reaches the wall, and he's like, fuck this wall, and he starts trying to go through it, and the wall's like, no, fuck you, you're staying. And everybody goes out to see this, and they're like, man, that wall's really fucking that guy. And Vision's like, no, don't let this wall fuck me. And then one of the twins is like, oh no, a wall's fucking my dad. And so Vision starts, vanishing in a way. He starts disintegrating. And so the twin goes with his mom, but the only thing you can do is like, hey, mom, you know how you're super powerful and stuff? Dad's dying. And now, we don't know how the kids sense this. Honestly, I have no idea. I have speculations. But because there's certain beings that have certain powers that help them detect certain things, but or a particular type of human and stuff like that. But Vision's a robot. So how he can sense that, I have no idea. I'm very confused. I don't know what I'm confused. I don't know what that kid's powers are. Anyway, so Wanda's like, oh no, all right, I'll try to detect him. I'll help. And so Pietro in the same time is like, man, fuck your dead husband. He can't die again. Whatever. Wanda does not take this well, so he blasts him, and she's actually starting using hex magic again. Well, chaos magic knocks him out, or knocks him away, which is again weird. But let's continue. Okay, why was Pietro trying to distract her there? I don't know. Why did they want Vision out of? I'm confused. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So Wanda decides, all right, I'm gonna just go balls to the walls on this one, and she starts expanding the wall. It's like, all right, if Vision's outside of the wall is getting out there, man. And so she starts expanding the wall. Darcy realizes, oh shit, I'm fucked, and she gets absorbed into the wall. And now, so I'm very much looking forward to seeing what the hell Darcy's going to be in the next episode, and what the theme about the next episode is going to be. Very excited about this. All the other sword agents that were left behind, they get turned into it turns into circus. All the tents and stuff get turned into circus, and they're like mimes and clowns and stuff. The director managed to get away. Rambo and Jimmy Woo managed to get away. And the episode ends, with Wanda's powers shedding down. So, there you go. That was the episode. And like I said, a lot of stuff happened there. A lot of stuff happened. The most important things for me were the Pietro questions. I don't understand it. And I want to really badly. And like I said, this might be my favorite episode because this is the episode that added the most, gave us a lot of information, but I think it's fake information. You know how they say, well, I remember this phrase from The Dark Tower, and it's like, he told me lies, but they were good lies because there was truth in them. So I'm pretty sure that there was truth and there was lies, and we will be figuring out as the show goes on. But we also got to see, all right, so Wanda clearly is the one transforming things. We got to see her do it. We got to see her flexing. We got to see her expanding the hex stuff. We got to see the twins have powers. What their powers are exactly, it's not clear. One's a speedster, the other one is a detector. We want to see. Oh yeah, all right, Toro Rosso. Thank you for mentioning this because I completely forgot. Vision, when he exited the hex, he did not die. Now, maybe it's because the hex was still trying to pull him back, but he did not die. More importantly, and this is the big thing that thank you for reminding me, Toro Rosso, the Infinity Stone existed outside of the hex. Like I said, it could be that the hex still refused to let them go, and that's why it was still getting power. But Vision was alive and kicking outside of it, even if it's a little bit outside of it, but he was still alive and kicking. And the Infinity Stone was very real outside of it. So, what does this mean? I don't fucking know. But it stands to reason that if Wanda had the powers in Infinity War to destroy an Infinity Stone, it stands to reason that she has the power to create an Infinity Stone. Now, it could also, another theory of mine is that maybe this hex thing is designed to take energy from the people in it, and that's what she's using to power stuff, which seems kind of logical. But at the same time, why make a TV show? Why? Why do a TV show? This is gonna drive me nuts. Like I can't figure out why or who or for what reason would you be broadcasting that unless you're trying to lure somebody in. But who are you trying to lure in at this point? Maybe okay, let's go crazy out there. No. Well, maybe. All right, so I'm gonna go crazy here. All right, gonna go buck wild. So they were trying to lure Rambo in there and that's why Rambo got kicked out. That's why she was the only one that's gotten kicked out, because somebody wanted Rambo to contact Captain Marvel, so Captain Marvel would enter the hex, and Wanda would start using Captain Marvel's energy to absorb that, and then maybe create another Infinity Stone or something. I don't know. That's the best I got right now. That's the only thing that maybe somehow would make sense as to why they're broadcasting things and why they're trying to, because they have to be trying to lure somebody, right? Why you send a signal out to lure somebody in there, or as a cry for help for somebody to help you. Maybe she did want the Avengers to go and help her. I don't know, but I want answers. Damn it, I want answers, and I'm very much looking forward to the next episode, because where do we stand here? First off, Pietro got his ass kicked, right? And so I'm guessing he's not too happy about that. But then again, Wanda's just, flexed a whole lot and showed us how much she actually controls in there and how everybody's a little bitch next to her. So he may or may not want to do anything. Who knows? We'll see. Vision just found out that he's dead. Also, that he can't escape, and that his wife is effectively like a tyrant and controlling his mind. So he's not too happy about that either. We learned that the Infinity Stone existed even for a short amount of time outside of the Hex. We know that the Hex can get bigger. We learned that Darcy's going to get in there, and apparently there's a secret project, a secret weapon project that now Jimmy Woo's going to have access to. And we learned that Rambo's DNA is basically being altered on a cellular level. So, like I said, this was a lot of information that was dumped on us, and we don't know where it goes, which is, again, great. It's great. This is how mystery works. We give you a bunch of info, we give you a bunch of answers, but that only leads to bigger questions. So, like I said, this might have been my favorite episode so far, and also the costumes were just great. Elizabeth Olsen really can pull off the old school Scarlet Witch costume without looking ridiculous, which is not an easy feat. Especially on what's supposed to be a sitcom. But anyway, I believe that's a good place to stop. That's a good place to end it, right? Did I forget anything that's major? I don't think so. I think I got all of it. Well, we'll see. That's it for today. As always, any comments, questions, or suggestions, you can find me at Dario the Show on Instagram and at Super Dario World. Also streaming on YouTube and on Twitch at Super Dario World. I'm usually aim for 8 p.m. Not always successful, but when I do stream, like I said, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, you can join me on the chat and stuff. It's always fun. I appreciate you. I appreciate you guys sending me stuff, because I forget. I start talking and making noise, and I forget what I was going to talk about, and I forget important details, or I don't notice them. So, particularly Toro Rosso, thank you very much today for helping me out. Mondays and Fridays are still a wild card, so we'll see how that works out. Also, the thing that Eric's supposed to be helping out, we'll see how that works. But like I said, work in progress. We'll see how it goes. As always, thanks for listening, and I'll see you again next time.